So welcome everybody.
Welcome everybody. If you are brand new, if this is the first time on this webinar, this is a series of 3 webinars that we collaborated with TDN Trade. Megan is going to be, if you are a TDN Trade member, Megan's going to be your contact there. Megan, you want to, unless there's anything else you want to add, Tixine?
Nope, just we're happy to have everybody here. And yeah, the Design Network's designers community on Facebook is the best place to ask questions. So
okay, so I'm just going to jump right in. Let me share my screen. Okay, so when you are logged into your trade account, let me get rid of all this, sorry. When you're logged into your trade account, it brings you to this landing page. And if you've been part of TDN since the way beginning, you probably noticed that there is a new button up at the top, fairly new, and it's the projects button. So that's what I'm going to cover today, is the projects and mood boards. So if you click on that button and you click on view all projects, this screen is going to come up. And you're going to see on the left hand side my projects. I have eDesign projects, but that's because I'm testing the new eDesign platform. So if you don't see that on yours, it's okay. It's because it's not live yet. TDN room plans and then mood boards. So you can see that I have 2 projects, but if you don't have any projects, you would just create a new project. So I'm going to go through creating the project from start to finish. So if you click on create a new project, it's going to ask you for a name and description. So TDN example. And then it's going to ask you if you're doing multiple rooms in your project. So this is going to help with organizing the products that you add to your project. So for the sake of this webinar, I'm going to say yes, that we are, so I can kind of show you how to create different rooms. So we'll do a bedroom. And you'll notice, sorry, I keep having to move our faces. You'll notice when I have created that, there's a little toggle here that says room and bedroom, and then you can create a new room. So I'm going to create a living room or living area. And then you can switch back and forth depending on what you're creating or what you're working on. You're also going to notice this little button here that says collaborator. And if you click on that, you can invite a collaborator via email. One side note is that if you invite someone when you first start your project, they can see, so if you're inviting your client, for example, they can see things as you're working on them. So if you're working on a mood board and it's, you know, sometimes it takes days to complete that, you don't want them to see, then you might want to wait till after you're done with your mood board. But if maybe you're working with another designer and you're both collaborating on the project, you can invite them, or if you don't mind your client seeing kind of the process, then you can invite them whenever. So that is just a little side note. And I'm going to invite myself so you can see what the email looks like when it comes through to the other person. Okay, so this is what the email looks like. It says you've been invited to collaborate on a project. It tells them the name of the project, and then they can view the invitation, and then from there they can accept or reject. So I just wanted to show you that really quick so you kind of know what the other person is seeing.
I always like knowing exactly what's going out on the other side.
Right, it's nice to see what they're going to be seeing. Okay, so now we're back into the project. So on the left-hand side, you're going to see design tools, and you have TDN products, photos and videos, TDN room plans, web links, and mood boards. So you can browse products when you are in your project. Let's click on that. And so I'm going to just go to bedroom and add some random. You'll see a button that says add to project, and these are all the projects that I have going on, but you can, within that project that we created, you can either add to your living room or your bedroom. So I'm going to add to bedroom, and we'll just, and if you see select options instead of add to project, that's because there's multiple sizes of that piece or colors of that piece. So let's say they have a king bed that they're wanting, and then you can add it to project that way. And I'm just going to add a few things so you can see. And you can filter, always remember you can filter by category. And I know some people have said that the filtering is a little difficult to navigate, but you can continue to put filters on it. So if you're looking for accent storage, you can just continue to put those filters, and it's going to filter and filter and filter. And we'll add that. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to my project. And notice that all of those pieces that I just added now show up in TDN products. And it's also going to allow you to either add those items to your cart or select a specific piece. And it gives you the total. And again, it's your designer prices. And when you have a collaborator, although they can see things that are in progress, they cannot see that designer pricing. They have to have your login information to see that pricing. So there's no worries about them seeing the pricing that you're seeing.
And our prices are always in orange, right?
Our prices, yeah, no, yes.
I mean the trade pricing.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to photos and videos. So here you can upload, if you have a client that you're working with, they can go in and upload. They can upload inspiration pictures or videos, or if you want to upload your own inspiration, if you're not working with anybody, that's fine too. So you would just click on the uploader and you can upload a picture. And it works the same way that we've kind of seen throughout these other webinars, where you upload and it appears. And then you can also launch the room planner and add a room plan. So if you're creating a project and you're redoing someone's living room, they send you in all of the information. You can create a room plan from that. We all pretty much, I think, know what that looks like. I'll launch it just to kind of show you guys if you're not familiar with it. That's what it looks like, and you can start from scratch or start with a furnished room.
And we do have a webinar that goes over how it's already been done. So if you have questions about that, let us know, because we can just send you the link so that you can watch a whole webinar on nothing but how to use the room styler, and then to do some extra really cool stuff with the room styler.
Yes. Okay, and then so if you click on web links, they can add links, and I'm just going to add a link. We'll do Pinterest. I'm going to add a Pinterest link. So then that appears, and if you're working with someone, they can see that. And then mood boards, which is the really fun part. You can create a mood board within a project. So we'll name this one living room, or no, we'll do bedroom since that's the pieces we added. And notice in this left hand side, you have TDN products and project products, and then all products. So all of those products that we selected are going to show up here. So if you went through and you pretty much shopped all the products that you're going to use, you don't have to filter through every product that we have available online. So that's a really great option there. And so to add things to your mood board, you're just going to click and drag, and you can drop it in. And so when you drop it in, you'll notice that you have this little toolbar that comes up. So you have the option to arrange these photos. You can bring it forward, you can bring it all the way to the front, you can send it back, and then you can send it all the way to the back. So it works in layers, if that makes sense, which I can show you in just a second. You can rotate if you need to for whatever reason. You can reflect the image if you want it facing a certain way. You can duplicate the image if, you know, someone has a room that's big enough for 2 king-size beds. And then you can remove it. And we have a clip tool, which kind of gets rid of the white as closely as possible. And then we have a crop tool that you can crop. And you'll just click done like that.
I have to say that clip tool is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
When I did my last round of mood boards, I was like, it's really, really amazing.
Yeah, especially from when we started with the clip tool, it's come a really long way.
It's so fast and clean. Oh my gosh, yeah.
So you can also make the image bigger or smaller depending on what you're doing, and it'll flip too. So it's really nifty.
Oh, nice.
Let me add another piece. So see how there is white all around that? If I clip it, it's going to take it away. And I can make that smaller to kind of proportion it with the bed so that your proportions aren't all off. And also, I want to show this because I don't know if many people know about this, but if you highlight these, it'll move them in a group. So if you've grouped something together, but you have to move it on your board, you can group it and move it without messing up where you've placed it, which I find that to be really helpful. And I also want to show you this toolbar up here. So this toolbar is for when you're messing with a product, and then if you click off of that, you have this toolbar here. Notice when I move something, it automatically saves it up here. So you don't have to worry about it getting lost. It automatically is going to save it for you. You have a share button where you can share to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. You can do an email or a link, and that's what the link is going to look like when it comes up. And then you can export, which it's going to export as a PDF, and it'll also export with your products. So you could, if you wanted to print it off, if you have a client who's not going to get online and look at this and you wanted to print it, you can print it. You can add comments. So if you're working with someone, you can add a comment and you can also edit the comments or delete them. Or if you're just working alone on this, I use the comment section sometimes as notes, like a note to self. So you can always use it as a notes section if it's just you.
That is such a good idea.
Yeah, because I'll forget things. I'll think of things when I'm creating, and then instead of writing it down on paper, it's easy because it's specific to that mood board. So.
And you can't lose it because it's right there.
Right. You can add text to your mood board, which is fun. So let me add some text and I'll show you how you can change the font and the size. So you can make it all fancy or however you want to do it. And it goes up to 72, but if for some reason that's not big enough, you can always make it bigger. And you can change the color options. You can pretty much do whatever color you want and it'll change it. So those are the toolbars. And then I'm sorry.
Love that you can add like unsplash photos to it as well as you're making your mood, like creating the mood of the board.
Right.
Fabulous.
Yeah, that's a really great option there. And then if you want to clear it, I'm not going to clear it, but you can clear it if you want. Or if you made a mistake, you can click the little undo button or redo button. And then if you click on settings, it's going to allow you to change the background color if you want. You can also change it from landscape to portrait, depending on what you're doing. And then you can also change the name of it if you decided to change it at any point.
So when you say clear, you mean it takes everything away.
Yeah, it clears it. So make sure you don't hit that unless you're like, this is ridiculous.
If you hit clear, can you undo it?
Let's actually try that. And it comes up with this message that says, are you sure you want to clear this mood
Mhm.
board? This will remove all items. So you click OK, and then it will come back. So you
Okay,
have
because
that,
I'm the one who will totally do that, like 17.
right? Okay, so I'm going to move on to this toolbar over here. So you have lots of toolbars to choose from. So when you're clicked on the little furniture icon, again, it has the products, and then you can shop products. So if for some reason you added a product and you're like, that does not fit with what I was doing, you can always come in here while you're in the process of creating a mood board. You don't have to go all the way back out to the shop section and look for something.
So the project products part is the ones that you've already specifically added to that project.
Yes.
But you can also look at all of them.
Yes, and then the products is going to be all products. So everything that we have added, and we're constantly adding new products. So we've added a lot more since this came out. So it's great.
And it's more every day, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly adding. It's a process to add.
Well, yeah.
So we're constantly adding more. And then if you hit the little camera icon, you can add photos. So if you have an inspiration photo that you want to add to your board, or maybe you have a photo of, like, let's say a client has a piece that they want kept in their project, which happens all the time. You can say, hey, can you send me a picture? I can show you what it's going to look like with all this new furniture. So that's a really great feature to have. And you would just click that, and it will, you can click there and add a photo. I'll just add a photo so you can see what it looks like.
And just real quick, there are a couple of questions that are kind of all in the same vein here. Cheryl asked about your logo, this would be how you would add your logo. You just add the picture here,
Yes.
and then put it on the mood board. And if there are, and you actually even said that, if there are pieces from somewhere else, you can add pictures of them that way too.
Yes. Is that all?
I think so.
Okay. And then so if you want to add a photo, that's just kind of what it looks like. Maybe they live at the beach. And then this little toggle is the room planner. So if you created a room specific to the project, it would show up here. I didn't create anything, so there's nothing there. Or you can go to all of your room plans. So if you've created some in the past, and you can drag and drop that in if you want them to see what it looks like when it's all planned out.
Nice.
And then there's the link section. So remember I added that link earlier, and there it is. So I can drag it and drop it in, or remove it, or I can add a link from the mood board. So if I didn't add it originally, that's okay. I can always go back in and add it. And then there is the little paint tool, which is one of my favorite parts, because you can add, we have Sherwin-Williams swatches. So, and we have a lot of swatches, you guys, like, look at that. So it's really fun. I always like get on here and try to match, like, does that match? No, drag it in, drop it. So you can drag those in. You can make them big or small, or however you want to do it. You can layer them, so that's nice. It gives kind of a nice effect there.
Do you have any tips for getting them lined up in a straight line?
So I just try to use my best eye. Like, I try to overlap them and try to make them the same size, if that makes sense.
If you do that again, overlay it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hit the down arrow for me?
This?
Nope, like on your keyboard. If you hit the down arrow, will it move it?
Yeah.
That's how. So plop them on top of each other, and then just use that to scooch them over. And
yeah, and if you make it like the exact same size.
Some of us, not calling any names like myself or anything, but some of us are a little particular about that.
Well, I'm moving it down right now, so you can see that it's, and then like I showed you earlier, if you have to move them, you can group them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it keeps them lined up. So that is great. And I didn't realize about the arrow key, so I learned something too, Dixie. So yeah, you have your paint swatches, and then if you click on this picture, there are some stock pictures that you can add in. So if, it's a little retreat, you know, you can create a mood board however you want to create a mood board. It can be overlapped images, it can be inspiration photos. So there's so many different ways to create. And I'm going to show you, if you scroll down to the bottom of your screen, it shows you the products and you can add it to your cart from there. And it also shows you the paint colors, which is great. And these are real paint colors. So if your client's like, I want that indigo, then they can go and tell them. So that's a great option. And then once you're done, if you go back, it will automatically save it. And notice too, in the top right corner, it says 1 comment. That's when I left that comment earlier. So if you're working on it and you're making notes to yourself, it will show you how many little comments are in there. So, and you can delete them when you're done. So that's good. And then if I go to living area from earlier, you'll notice there's nothing there. And you can just start all over again and create. So I'm going to show you really quickly. I'm going to go to all projects, and if you have worked on a project, like I said, all your products will show up. And I was just going to show you kind of the different examples of mood boards. So like here's one where it's kind of overlapped. You can really make it however you want. Let me show you another one where it's, I know Rachel does some that are kind of overlapped to where they actually look like a scene.
Basically a 3D.
Right. Something like this. So you can kind of overlap everything. And just a side note, so this font right here, I have a font on my computer and I wanted that specific font for this one. So I typed it on Word and I took a screenshot and then I uploaded a photo. So if you want like a specific
brand font,
yeah, you can add that in there.
Love that.
So yeah, that's pretty much how you create a project. And I'm gonna, let's see.
I do have a couple of other questions before we get too far away. One of the questions is, as far as we can as trade direct designers, we can specify Furnitureland South inventory. Is there any way to pull that into the board if it's not already on the design network in the e-commerce portion?
If you have a photo of the piece, you can pull it into the board, but not from the products section of the board. But if you have a picture of it, you can add it. But it's not going to show up in your TDN products since it's not e-commerce.
Right. And then you don't get because of that, your affiliate or commission link wouldn't include that.
Correct.
But you can, if you're working with a client, you can still purchase it for them just like you would normally.
And
then in that case, you would get the pricing. Let's see. Stacy said, where are the default products from? Are there higher end options? All of the default products are from Furnitureland South, the design networks. They're the most popular e-design pieces, correct? Or
yes,
online pieces.
E-commerce, yeah.
Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
And you can also shop by brand. If you're looking for a specific brand, you can pull products. There's several ways to filter them, and by brand is one of them. So if you're looking for Century or something like that, there they are.
Yeah, here's what Rachel's referring to. You can go filter by brand, and if I click on that, it's gonna show me the brand. And then I can continue to filter. So if I want bedroom, and here's your filters. They'll show up right here, and you can X one off if you decide that's not what you meant to click on. So it's like layers of filters. And I was gonna.
I think we did answer the other question for Stacy, which was, will there be more added? And yes, continually adding more brands and furniture designers.
Yes, and so I was gonna show you guys really quick. If you don't want to create an entire project, you can, when you click on My Projects and you go to View All, you can go specifically to mood boards. So these are mood boards created outside of a project. So if you're just doing it for fun or for practice or just to print off to show your client, but you're not going to go in depth with all of the room planning and stuff like that, you can just simply create a mood board. And if you have products, they will still show up as well as the paint colors. So that is still there. And you can also do the same thing with room planning. It doesn't have to be specific to a project. And so that is pretty much how you go into a project and create a mood board. The best thing is to get in there and just play with it because it's really fun. And I've gotten lost in it for like hours. So you can have a lot of fun with it.
Let's see. One question, actually, it's a couple of times. Any chance that you will be adding Benjamin Moore's paint colors? And I think that's
currently
we just have Sherwin-Williams.
And you can always, add the Sherwin-Williams rounds, but specify, and because everybody's monitor is different anyway, so you're going to want to specify a specific color. You can even use the text tool.
You can also use the picture tool to add just a screenshot of that paint swatch from Benjamin Moore. So there are workarounds if it has to be that specific color, but like Rachel said, everybody's monitors are calibrated differently, so it's not going to come across perfectly. Anyway, can you print a list with pictures and pricing of the items that are included in your mood board? And that was yes.
Let me go to a mood board. I'll go to a project mood board, the one we just created. So if you hit the export button, let me just show you what it comes up like. I'll have to share that, I believe, so give me 1 second. Okay, so this is what it comes out like, and then on the next page are the products, and they're specified there. So you'll see your mood board, and then you scroll, and then if you have a ton of products, it's just going to keep listing them page after page. So let's go back. And that'll be what it looks like.
Wendy said she has a TDN product board already. How does she create a mood board from one she has already made? So if you've already got the project board.
Yeah.
Product board or project?
It says product.
Product. She's probably referring to the product boards that you can create, the TDN product boards. And if you go to that piece or a specific piece, you should be able to add it that way. So if you go into your product board, but you'll have to add each specific piece because the project tools were created after that product board tool was created. So currently you'll just have to go in piece by piece, but if you have it all grouped together, you should be able to easily kind of go in and
pretty quickly. Photos that you upload, can you clip those?
Yes, you can.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can. Because I've done it. Actually, I'll show you one that I did it on this bedroom. This bed is not, I found it online, and let's see, I'll unclip it. So it was like that. And then I just clipped it and it worked. So, and then I added all these pillows from TDN. So you can really go in depth and, all these little pieces, you can get really creative.
Now the product clipper though, the clipper for the photos only works with a white background.
Yeah. So same thing for if you get pictures off of even if you get them off of TDN, you'll notice if they're in a room, it's not going to clip because it's clipping that white and it's looking for that white. So that's how it currently is working.
And then Stacy's asking about specific products, brands rather. I would say go in and, get on there and just, add the names of the brands and you can search that way.
Mm-hmm. And I'll go do that one more time so everyone can see. When you go to shop, you can filter by category, sell, and then the brand is underneath sell. So if you click that, those are all the brands, and you can also see how many of that brand.
Mm-hmm. They have 1,000. You have over 1,000 brands on your e-commerce site. Do you know how many brands?
We have a lot. I don't know if it's quite 1,000 on e-commerce.
Maybe on Furnitureland South as well.
Yeah, we have over 1,000 in total, but we haven't got all of those added to e-commerce yet. But
right,
we're working on it. So
and the thing to remember too is they want to get the things loaded up first that are the most popular, get used the most, generate the most income for the company, just because those are the ones that are the most demand. Get them out there first for the designers and then start backfilling with other products. So some of them, like Holly Hunt, is not going to be something that's going to be so commonly used
for e-commerce.
And the other thing to keep in mind too is for these are married way type products. This is not, you get to customize each and every little thing on the board or in these projects. You would need to go a little bit more in depth than just like this.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you can always, we're talking about the e-commerce, part of the business. There is always your direct design consultant from Furnitureland South and through the trade program. So
yeah, and you can always add products to your, like what Rachel and Dixie were saying, you can specify different products. It's just what we have available online is the e-commerce, but you can always purchase from Furnitureland. So don't feel like you're limited, even if you don't have the option to add it.
And a perfect example, we did all kinds of, I was just there and we got all kinds of custom pieces for my clients. Still was able to go through Trade Direct, but without. Still available, I guess.
Right. And what's great about the project planner tool is that it's free. When you're a member, you can, there are no minimums. It's free. So you can get on there, play with it, kind of get to know it and really make it your own.
I love it. It looks so good.
Yeah, I think it's really come along. So.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Does anybody else have any questions about, this is a series of 3 webinars. So there may be some things that were answered in the other webinars. We do have a webinar. If you are new to Design+Style, we are a podcast and a community. In our Facebook group, we have another webinar on the room planner, how to use the room planner, very detailed, and then how to because we focus on visibility, how to use it for visibility's sake. So please, we invite you to join our Design+Style Facebook group. Peg says, thank you so much. That's so awesome. So Richard is asking how to see the previous webinars. We have them in our Design+Style Facebook group. Do you have them in your group as well, right?
We do. And then we also, after this webinar is done, as soon as the replay is ready, everybody who signed up will get an email sent to them with the information.
But all 3? Like
all 3.
Perfect.
All 3.
Yeah, if you're signed up for the e-blast for TDN Trade, then you will receive an email with the links to watch them.
And even if you're not, you'll get a copy from us. So. just to make it super easy so you don't have to go hunt anything down. We'll have
We're trying to put it in all the places.
No matter where you go, your answer will be there.
Yeah, and what's great is you can watch the replay, and if you need to, almost like a tutorial, you can get on there, watch the replay, do it yourself, pause the webinar,
Right.
So definitely if it feels like we went fast or you didn't catch something, watch the replay, play along as you're playing with it, and try all the tools yourself.
Yeah. And if you ever have any questions that pop up, you can always go on our Facebook group and our page. I know that you mentioned it earlier, but you can always go on there and ask. I mean, I'm constantly getting questions on there, and it's a great place to collaborate with people who are part of TDN trade.
Yes.
So everyone knows what you're kind of talking about when you jump in there and ask a question.
Right.
And I can tell you, as the non-techie part of Design & Style, that this is a very, very intuitive platform. Just get in there and play with it a little bit, and just have some fun. It is very intuitive. If I can go in and create, I can create 3D rooms from these mood boards. Honestly, I think anybody can.
Yeah, and that's our goal, is to make it user-friendly, so you're not like, I have to learn this whole new process.
Right.
It's pretty cut and dry. You can learn as you go. So thank you all, and if you need anything, feel free to reach out.
And stay tuned for eDesign. It's coming.
Yes.
It's coming.
Yeah.
We can't wait.
Exciting.
Yeah. So this is just the precursor to eDesign. Get your profiles robust and looking good.
Yeah.
Start playing with the tools, because when eDesign comes and they start sending clients over, you want to be ready, right? So go in and have some fun.
And if you're familiar with how this works, you're going to be ahead of the game with eDesign.
Absolutely.
Play now.
Yeah.
Play now, make money later. All right, you guys, have a great day.
All right. Bye.